there. I know you're listening. I probably should tell you. I shouldn't even have to be telling anybody this because hopefully my audience is smarter than this. So here is how not to protest. Okay, 2 stories here. 1, husband of reopened NC leader says he's willing to kill people to fight government control. I don't think we're there yet there, buddy. Because all you're doing when you say that is you open yourself up to criticism. Hold on. Yes, criticism from both sides. Because people aren't going to want to be tied to groups, albeit an important thing to reopen the country and all that. But to fight government control by hurting people? No. I don't agree with that. It's kind of a long story. I'll get into it. It says, this group is planning to protest in 5 NC cities on Memorial Day. The husband of one of the group's founders published Facebook video says that violence shouldn't be ruled out. He says, quoting here, "Are we willing to hurt people? Or are we willing to lay our lives down? We have to say yes," Adam Smith said in a Facebook Live video post on Friday. Now, again, look how the story is from the Charlotte Observer, a very left-wing paper, by the way. He says he's willing to kill people, but that's not what he said. He says, are we willing to hurt people? Are we willing to lay our lives down? We have to say yes. He didn't say, he said it in a roundabout way. The Charlotte Observer, unfortunately, anyways. Later in the 17-minute video, if you bring force, we're going to bring force. If you bring guns, we're going to bring guns. If you're armed with this, we're going to be armed with this. Ugh. Smith, husband of reopened NC founder Ashley Smith of Morganton, took the video down after it was first reported by the Raw Story website. But Ashley Smith reposted the video Sunday afternoon on the page. Maybe you agree with him, maybe you don't, but we have nothing to hide. This group is built on the Constitution and includes free speech and the Second Amendment. He is simply stating to protect his family and our freedom as he's willing to take up arms like our forefathers did. Well, yes, but it's how you said it that sort of puts pause on a lot of people. Smith said her husband, an ex-Marine who remains willing to die for all of you too. This is not how you do it, man. Because all you're going to do is get the government to come out and say, we condemn his action. It is right. He's right to say it. But we're going to see now the FBI is going to be involved. Now they're going to be tapping your phones and worse than they're already doing now. So again, too much. It also represents with another armed Blue Igloo demonstrators in downtown Raleigh on May 16th. Blue Igloo is likely a play on the word boogaloo, which the Anti-Defamation League describes as a slang term from coming Civil War. Oh no, the ADL's on the case now. Screw you guys. See, the group formed April 7th, quickly growing to a current 78,000 members. The group has held numerous protests in downtown Raleigh, near the legislative building and the governor's mansion in opposition to Roy Cooper's executive orders aimed at slowing the spread of the COOF. State Capitol Police arrested Ashley Smith at one of the rallies for disobeying an executive order. Again, an executive order is not law. I don't care what you say. It is not law. In the video of the incident, Adam Smith calls police thugs for arresting her. Look at these thugs, people arresting her for walking on a sidewalk. I agree. The police, once again, are going above and beyond what they should be doing. They're going to enforce an executive order violating the Constitution. See, that's where I have a problem with it. It's just the Smiths here are going at it the wrong way here. They shouldn't have been arrested for violating an executive order, but apparently it happened. Even as Cooper relaxed social restrictions on Friday, moving the state into phase 2 of the reopening plan, the group planned Memorial Day freedom rallies on Monday. Rallies are planned in Charlotte, Asheville, Greensboro, and Raleigh and Wilmington at 11 a.m. Group seeks to end all social restrictions related to the COOF, which has infected 23,000 people and led to 744 deaths in the state since March. And then see here, this guy here, they got the police. I'm surprised they don't have their hand on their gun. But you see, you could tell they're not worried. The guy has a water bottle. This guy has his phone here. So, again, I don't know. It is a test run to see how much liberty we're willing to give up without a fight. Maybe. Maybe not. But they do have an idea now what they can do and what you're willing to take. Maybe. Boy, you know what I say. Not an inch, Mr. Cooper. While calling anyone who took issue with her husband's comments disgraceful, Ashley Smith said Sunday that he maybe could have chosen his words better. I agree. He could have. Could he have said it better? Yes. Maybe, but after that, he decided a free person should speak their mind. Our founding fathers not be too pleased, but they gave up so much for so little. Look how hard we are having to fight to get our freedom back. Ashley Smith did not respond to Sunday to a request for comment. Good. Don't respond to a newspaper. The News and Observer reached out Sunday to police departments in 5 cities where the reopened planned Monday protest. I'm not sure if he's aware of that video, but the group has permit to use the space for the rally. We have officers assigned work for the event and enough resources in place to handle the event. We're not expecting issues from that group or organizer, blah, blah, blah. All right. How not to do it. That's how not to do it. Don't be going on Facebook and saying, I'm going to do this. No, you're not. Even if you are, no, don't. Because all you do is bring more sympathy towards the police and government officials. Don't do that. Better yet, just peacefully protest and don't say a word. Now, that's just my opinion, of course. Now, how not to really do it. Bashir hanged in effigy as Second Amendment supporters rally at Capitol before Memorial Day. As you can see, hanging something from a tree, not a good idea. It gives bad precedent, if you will. So let's read the story here. These morons, I swear to God. All right. What started out as a freedom-loving celebration of the Second Amendment ahead of Memorial Day turned into Governor Andy Bashir, a filthy, liberal, progressive douchebag Democrat, being hanged in effigy and protesters chanting outside the governor's mansion. Again, this is not how you protest. You may want to protest, you may want to do this, but you shouldn't. This is not how you do it. Even though Andy Bashir is just a trash human, don't do this. Because it gives bad optics. Now, everyone sees this and they say, racist, sexist, homophobe, and you're done. The Second Amendment rally, meant to inspire people about what it really means to be free, according to Take Back Kentucky, attracted at least 100 people on Sunday and then gathered from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Kentucky State Capitol in Frankfort. It began as a celebration of constitutional rights, but turned into a protest of the coronavirus restrictions and Bashir's administration. Folks toted their guns. I hate when toted. You mean presented their weapons, maybe? I don't know. Waved the American flag, don't tread on me. Taps honor the fallen, and free flags were given to veterans from all military branches. Ed Bruce, who carried a replica colonial era gun with a tag that read First Assault Rifle, said he came out to make a point. Government shouldn't control what types of guns he and other law-abiding citizens carry, he said. Yeah. I actually agree with that. They have no right. It's the right to bear arms, not the right to bear arms, but what we say you can, what we say you can't, how much ammunition you can hold, how much ammunition you can't. See where it goes? This is where government likes to needle its way in, and they do. But here comes the... All right. Bruce, who said he doesn't vote strictly along party lines, the way they've been trampling my rights here lately leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Specifically, he said local government has used the pandemic to restrict otherwise free movement. Yeah, exactly. Tony Wheatley, a constitutional Kentucky, invoking Benjamin Franklin, said, we have a republic, if we can keep it. Calling on the crowd to recognize their ownership of the Constitution, he called legal hurdles make it harder to protest corruption. Pastor Cliff Christman said the law isn't relative. It doesn't understand the country's laws, and one should understand. Okay. Oh. That's reads good on paper, but this has been one of the biggest shams in world history. Grown men have been hiding in their homes, nearly wetting their pants over this invisible enemy that nobody sees. Where is it at? Let it come out and face us. Okay. I serve the one true and living God who conquers all enemies. Why should we give our freedom and our liberties up for such fear and propaganda and all the garbage that is coming out of Frankfurt today? Yeah. Again, trying to punch a virus, that doesn't really help. You can't do it. Continuing on. A Louisville evangelist, Pharaoh Nuazi, said the coronavirus pandemic had brought out enemies of God. T.J. Roberts, a Maryville Baptist churchgoer who sued Bashir over a ban on mass gatherings, called for a dangerous liberty over a peaceful slavery. I actually agree with that. Liberty and freedom is dangerous. And would you rather be in bondage, in slavery, if you will, and have the government hold your hand the whole time? Or would you rather be a free person? I'd rather be free. As the rally wound down, organizers led the remaining crowd to the governor's mansion to attempt to hand-deliver a request to Bashir to resign. Okay, whatever. Groups carried signs reading, "Abort Bashir from office." Okay. "And my rights don't end where your fear begins." I agree with that statement. To Bashir's home and chanted, "Come out, Andy, and resign, Andy." Obviously, no one came to the door. A few Kentucky state troopers got out of the cars to observe but did not attempt to stop the crowd. It's not clear if Bashir was home at the time. Doesn't matter. The crowd returned to the Capitol, at which time, and here's the bad part, an effigy of Bashir was hung from the tree outside the Capitol while "God Bless the USA" was played over the loudspeaker. Jeez, guys. Optics. People don't understand. Optics of this is bad. Oh, boy. A man with a 3%er band around his arm helped hang the effigy, though the Kentucky 3%ers Incorporated State Secretary Patsy Case Bush said she was against it and didn't want to hurt the group's image. Wheatley, too, said he did not support the effigy. Thanks. There's people out there who actually said, this is stupid. However, Bush said, we're at a point where rallies and shouting and hollering is just not working anymore. She did support marching to the mansion, though, she said. Well, yes, it doesn't really work. It has to be done over time. But if you want to bring violence, it's not the correct thing to do here. This isn't it. We are not at violent stage yet. We're far from it. Protesting, yes. Peacefully, yes. Violence, no. That man Bashir has overstepped his bounds in more ways than one, she said. Somebody needs to get a hold of him, and we're just done. Okay. She said part of the problem is Bashir's approach to executive orders and recommendations like mask wearing. She said she feels like he gives orders instead of advice, and by that nature, being in the mansion and the Capitol is too disconnected from how badly others are suffering from his rules. The effigy bore a sign that read, "Sic semper tyrannis," which means, "Thus always to tyrants." Okay. After hanging for a short time while people snapped photos, it was cut to the ground. The effigy was swiftly condemned by leaders on both sides of the aisle. Kentucky State Secretary of State, blah, 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 Republican, called the effigy disgusting. I condemn it wholeheartedly. The words of John Wilkes Booth have no place in the party of Lincoln. Yeah, agree with that. And of course, the Kentucky House Democrats got to say something here. Hanging Governor Bashir in effigy is beyond reprehensible, and yet is also a logical conclusion of a hateful rhetoric we saw touted on the Capitol grounds earlier this month and implicitly condemned by elected representative from the legislative majority party. Doing this in front of our Capitol, just a short walk from the governor, First Lady, and their two young children live, is an act that reeks of hate and intimidation, does nothing to but undermine our leading work to blah, blah, blah. Shut up, stupid, filthy, Democrat, progressive a-hole. Anyways, Crystal Staley, a spokesman for Bashir, said in a statement the act was displayed on the Capitol grounds today near the governor and his young children live was wrong and offensive. This type of behavior must be condemned. As Kentuckians, we should be able to voice our opinions without turning to hate and threats of violence. Put simply, we are and should be better than this. Well, should be. Like I said, I don't agree with this picture. I agree with protesting peacefully, which should be done. But doing this, again, bad optics. Okay, even if you agree with this message, you shouldn't do it. Why? Because of these stupid statements down here that these filthy liberal progressive douchebags can come out and say, we don't like intimidation of hate, so close to... Who cares? Don't do it. You're doing it wrong. You need better optics than this. I guess on this day 72, you try to ask for something, maybe in the end you'll get something, maybe something in return. Maybe they won't do this anymore. Maybe not. We'll have to see.